Hey guys, welcome back to another video. Today, I'm going to be showing you guys former President Donald Trump's easiest pathway to victory, or his easiest path to 270 electoral votes in the upcoming 2024 presidential election rematch against incumbent President Joe Biden, which states part of his easiest pathway will get him to the promised land. And also, I want to go over the 13 keys tracker really quick made by Alan Lichtman. But before we get started, make sure you guys are subscribed and make sure to click the bell so you get notified whenever I upload a video instead of missing out on any of my content. And also we have memberships, so if you're interested in that, you can find a link to that in the description section. We have custom perks and custom emojis that you can use whenever you comment on any of my videos. Now back to the topic of today's video. I'm going to be going over and breaking down Donald Trump's easiest path to 270 electoral votes. But before we get on to that, I want to go over quickly the 13 keys tracker made by Alan Lichtman. Here's a little bit of an overview. This is a free interactive tool for predicting the winner of the 2024 U.S. presidential election based on Professor Alan Lichtman. Famous 13 keys to the White House. Using his key system, he correctly predicted the outcome of every presidential election since 1984. The keys are a checklist of true, false statements that pertain to the circumstances surrounding a presidential election. You can see where the keys currently stand based on Lichtman's most recent public comments in key descriptions. So these are his public comments. These are the descriptions for each key. You can see right here. You can also make your own prediction, which is what I'm doing right now in this video by coloring the boxes to assign true, false labels. Basically, anything that we fill in blue will go in favor of Biden. Anything that we fill in red will go in favor of Donald Trump. So starting off with key number 1, midterm gains. So basically what this key is talking about is after the midterm elections, 2022 we're talking about, the incumbent party holds more seats in that U.S. House of Representatives. So we're not talking about the Senate. We're talking about only the House specifically than after the previous midterm elections. This key is obviously going to be false in favor of Donald Trump because the incumbent party, Joe Biden, did not have midterm gains in terms of the House. Obviously, he kept the Senate, but he did not keep the House of Representatives. So that key is automatically going to go in favor of Donald Trump, and that is exactly what Lichtman applies to this. And then as for key number 2, this is going to go true in favor of Joe Biden. No primary contest. This would mean that the incumbent party nominee wins at least 2/3 of the total delegate vote on the first ballot at the nominating convention. This is obviously going to be true. Joe Biden won more than 66% of his primary support. And then key number 3, obviously, Joe Biden is, in fact, seeking re-election. He's running for a second term, so this key is also going to go in favor of Joe Biden. And then as for key number 4, this is going to be false because we do have third-party candidates, which will go in favor, benefit Donald Trump. Because in 2016, when Trump had many third-party candidates, it helped him in the Rust Belt. For example, Jill Stein took away a couple, percent support away from Hillary Clinton, which resulted in a Trump victory. Trump was so limited in the 2020 election, so held Biden out on top of COVID, on top of the BLM momentum. And so, with that being said, this key is going to go in favor of Donald Trump. It is false. We do have third-party candidates. And that's for key number 5, strong short-term economy. He actually bases this off of GDP growth, in which obviously there is going to be, which is why I find this, I would say, not trustworthy because we're talking about a 2024 election. This key was made in previous elections past before COVID. We obviously had COVID under Trump. And so, obviously, we're going to see slight GDP growth because COVID is gone and the economy is slightly getting better, but that's not because of Biden. That's because there's no COVID. So, in my opinion, this key is not, does not make sense. If you were to ask the average citizen, they would tell you that the economy is not doing well. The inflation is horrible than where it was, obviously, 4 years ago. But in terms of GDP, which is what he bases this off as, which is why, in my opinion, it's not that good, obviously this key will go in favor of Joe Biden. And then key number 6, strong long-term economy. Obviously, this would also be true in favor of Joe Biden, but based off of per capita economic growth. In my opinion, that's not what it should be based off of. I mean, you take a look at inflation, I think that's way more important. And then as for key number 7, major policy change, obviously, Joe Biden is far different in terms of policy-wise than former President Donald Trump is. And so basically, this key would be true in favor of Joe Biden. But the things that the Biden change in terms of policy from Donald Trump does not necessarily mean it's a positive change. The policy changes that Biden made, for example, removing the border policies that Trump implemented. And that's not obviously positive, as we do have a worse border crisis. So this key is also pretty stupid in my opinion, because he's obviously saying that Biden is going to have another key go in favor of him because of quote-unquote major policy change. That does not mean that the policy change is better than where it was under the previous administration. So I'm just going to debunk that. And then as for key number 8, no social unrest, this is going to be false. We do have social unrest in the universities, pro-Palestinian protests. And so with that being said, this key is going to go in favor of Donald Trump. Just like how we had BLM in 2020, this is the exact thing, but a little bit obviously less violent when we're talking about the pro-Palestinian protests. And then as for key number 9, no scandal. I mean, I guess you would call this true, but if you want to talk about the Hunter Biden stuff, that has nothing related to Joe Biden. So I would say this key is likely true in favor of Joe Biden. He is not facing any scandal, and the stuff related to Hunter Biden does not have anything to do. And then as for key number 10, no foreign military failure. That is going to be false. We have military failures under the Biden administration. You saw what happened with Afghanistan. The way he pulled out was just a disaster. And then as for key number 11, major foreign policy success, there is none. Like, you want me to be honest, what's happening with Israel, that is not success at all. There is literally no success when it comes to foreign policy with the Biden administration. So this key is also going to go in favor of Donald Trump. And that's for key number 12. We have a charismatic incumbent. Obviously, Joe Biden is not charismatic whatsoever, so that's going to be false in favor of Donald Trump. So Trump already wins, and we have one key left to fill out before we get on to the actual electoral map, Trump's easiest pathway to victory. Key number 13, the last one, uncharismatic challenger. That's going to be true in favor of Joe Biden. Now, he's talking about how they can appeal to independents, obviously not their own base. If they're talking about their own base, then yes, Trump would be charismatic. But in terms of appealing to independents, Trump is not charismatic. So Biden is likely going to win this key, but it still doesn't matter. If Trump gets 6 or more keys, he wins the election, which obviously he's at 6 right now. And if Biden gets less than 8 keys, he loses the election. So Trump is going to win according to Alan Lichtman's 13-key tracker. Let me know which keys you disagree with, which ones you agree with in the comment section down below. What changes would you make to this 13-keys tracker that I just filled out? And so now we go to the map in Donald Trump's easiest path to 270. The states that he already won, we're talking about battleground or swing states, is Texas, Florida, North Carolina, Ohio, and Iowa, which in my opinion, that's a safe state at this point. Trump, all he needs to do is flip 3 states, and that will be his easiest path to victory. Number 1 is the southern state of Arizona, in which, in my opinion, he is going to flip because of the border crisis. Joe Biden is disapprove on the issue of immigration. More than any other issue, he's underwater by a net negative 33 points, which is a disaster and it's horrible. And then the deep southern state of Georgia, which saw a 6-point swing to the left in favor of Biden in 2020. That mainly had to do with a lot of that African American support, in which Joe Biden is poised to lose a lot of that minority support that would shift to the right in 2024. So resulting in a Trump victory in this state, he's going to win Georgia as well as Arizona. And then when we talk about the Rust Belt, Trump needs to flip in this scenario. If Trump wins Arizona, if he wins Georgia, he only needs one Rust Belt state out of the 3 to pass 270. And that, in my opinion, is Wisconsin. I think Wisconsin is the reddest Rust Belt state out of all 3 of them. Wisconsin is redder than Michigan is, and it's definitely redder than Pennsylvania. I think Pennsylvania at this point is, the bluest, as it is Biden's home state, or, he grew up there. And so with that being said, this is Trump's easiest path to victory, 272 to Joe Biden's 266 electoral votes. Joe Biden can still hang on to Nevada. He can still win Michigan. He can still win Pennsylvania, but he will lose if he does not hold on to Wisconsin, Arizona, and Georgia, which, according to majority of polls, all 3 of those states are going to Donald Trump in 2024, as well as the states that I have Biden winning already in this map. Michigan, Pennsylvania, and Nevada are also in favor of Donald Trump, according to polls. So, theoretically, Trump's floor is actually 272 electoral votes, according to CNN's actual forecast. So with that being said, let me know your thoughts and opinions in the comment section down below. When we go back to this 13 keys tracker, which keys would you change? Because this is based off of, obviously, my opinion. I filled these keys out. I currently have Trump winning, according to the keys, with 6 keys to Joe Biden 7, and that's all that Trump needs to win. And so this is Trump's easiest path to victory. It's through the 3 states, Wisconsin, Arizona, and Georgia. And one last final reminder before we close out this video is to subscribe, and don't forget to click the bell so you get notified whenever I upload a video instead of missing out on any of my content. And also, we have memberships, so if you're interested in that, you can find a link to that in the description section. We have custom perks and custom emojis that you can use whenever you comment on any of my videos in the comments section. Thank you everyone for watching.